Hello, ladies and gents. So this one's a bit different, isn't it? I was trying to do a vlog and literally everything is just seemingly going against me recently. So, yeah, I had a couple of issues with my camera, which you can actually see right here. So this is the vlogging camera that I use when I do my vlogs and whatnot. And I had a few issues with it in that some of the settings had somehow reset. And so I had to try and go through them and whatnot. There was a load of issues with it, and yeah. And then I tried to do one the other day, and I don't know, I just wasn't happy with it. So I thought, you know what, should we just try something different? Because years and years ago, when I was younger, back in my day, I used to do videos like this, where I literally just sat down at my computer, put the camera on, put the mic on, and just talk, and just see what came out. And I quite enjoyed it, and I thought about it today, and I thought, you know, I could do the same kind of thing now. You know, it doesn't take long to do this. Obviously, you know, making sure everything works on the camera and stuff, you know, do a quick test recording, transfer it over, see how it sounds. If it sounds good, carry on. So I quite like the idea of trying this again. We'll see how it is. We'll see how it goes. And, you know, if you guys enjoy it and you think it's decent, then I'll probably carry on. I've also noticed you can see on my monitor. Let me just hide that. It's nothing important. It's nothing secretive. It's just that my aspect ratio for my webcam was a bit off, and I couldn't figure out how to change it. So yeah, I literally just went on Google to try and remember how to change the aspect ratio. Like an idiot, I forgot that you just go in the settings in OBS and just change it. It was set to 4:6, I think it was. I wanted it 16:9. But yeah. Anyway, the vlog that I was attempting to do, that I've pretty much given up using that pissing camera for a bit. I just thought I'd do it this way. You know, it's a bit different doing it this way, and you get to see the room. And obviously, so I'm assuming there's probably people out there that have never seen me before. So hello, I am me. I am Kev. This is how I look like. Fucking swear, you know. Yeah. So this is me. This is what I look like. I look like shit today. I look like shit every day, to be fair. Anyway. But yeah, I kind of thought, you know, there's actually pros and cons to doing it this way. The con is my room is fucking warm. It's literally in my room right now, 28.9 degrees Celsius. Outside, it's nice and cool. The pros of doing the vlog like I normally would outside is it's nice and windy and it's nice and cool. We're in here. No air whatsoever because I've had to turn the fan off. So actually behind me, you can't see it. It's just here. It's a big fan. It's like 16 inches or something like that. Big pedestal fan that I normally have on. So people that normally chat to me in Discord and whatnot throughout the day normally get to hear that on this mic. For YouTube, I've turned it off. So I'm sweating my balls off. Yeah, it's quite toasty now. Obviously because the computer and everything in here is on and stuff. But the pros of doing it this way is I get to use this mic. And I kind of thought, the amount of money I've spent on audio for my PC, I need to use it more because it wasn't cheap. I don't want to give too much away about my audio setup because obviously something I'm going to touch on in a bit is upcoming videos and stuff that I'm trying to work on, trying to get done. One of them being the setup video, or the PC setup video, or the gaming setup, or whatever, I don't know. The setup video that I've been planning on doing for a while, but everything's just been going against me recently. Yeah, also this video might get a little deep. I'm going to try and rein it in, try and hold some stuff back. There's some things that I'm definitely not going to talk about, but yeah, there's some stuff that I do want to talk about, and we'll do that. But yeah, the audio setup on my computer is a lot more expensive than the audio setup on my camera. Literally my SLR, you can see there, the camera on that was like 100 and some pounds. This mic alone was like equivalent to the price of the mic on my camera, 100 and some pounds. But the difference is that that one literally just plugs into the mic jack, so it's a small input. This is full XLR. So you can see obviously the XLR cable here, and then obviously the cable routes down around the back of my computer to my GoXLR, which is down here on the table. So yeah, the money I've spent for the audio for my computer is probably the equivalent to how much that camera cost me. So yeah, it's not cheap and it's not perfect and I'm not done. So yeah. Anyway, moving on, talking about some stuff. My hair's that's not really too bad. Normally it's a lot worse. But yeah, anyway, moving on to talking about stuff. There was a vlog that I've been trying to do. So about 2-3 months ago, something like that, I tried doing a vlog and it never came out. The reason why it never came out is because I was in a bit of a mood. I'm going to be honest. I was in a bit of a mood and some people were annoying me and I probably said some things that I may be better off not saying. You know, it's one of those things, if you can't say anything nice, shut the fuck up, basically. I know it's slightly different to others. Yes, fucking boiling. It was one of those things, you know, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything. It's better to just be quiet. I decided not to do that. I decided, you know, there were people that were not really doing it, but hypothetically poking me with a stick. And considering I was already in a mood, having people poking me with a hypothetical stick that doesn't exist is just going to make the problems even worse. So, you know, there was only so much I was going to take, and I ended up biting, which I shouldn't have done. I should have just shut up and got on with it. But yeah, I ended up biting, saying some things that I probably shouldn't have said. But there was also something else that I spoke about that's changed since then, because I was talking about my dog, Bruno. This is where it's going to get deep now. Yeah, I was talking about my dog, Bruno, and at the time when I'd done that video, that vlog, he was alive and well. Well, I say alive and well. He had some issues, some problems, in that he was 14, 15 years old. It's a bit disputed. I remember him being about 15, whereas the vets told me he's 14. So I was like, okay, whatever. But I'm pretty sure it's 15. It could be 14. I can't fucking remember. I'm a bloke. I don't keep track of times and everything. I ain't got a clue. I'm literally one of those people that, you know, if I end up one day getting married or anything, I'm going to forget the date of the anniversary and stuff. Because I ain't got a fucking clue. So yeah, he was about 14, 15. He was diagnosed with osteoarthritis in his back legs. And because of his age and the potential for other things to happen, they decided not to medicate. The reason they gave me as to why they didn't want to medicate was they basically said, you know, obviously it's not going to cure the arthritis. It's just going to help him manage the pain and discomfort and stuff. But there's side effects, which includes potential of liver and kidney damage. And I sat and thought about it and basically decided I didn't want to go that route. I kind of thought about it and, you know, I was like, if we go that route, and essentially all it would do is give me a couple of extra weeks, a couple of extra months if I was lucky, you know, and I wouldn't be doing it for him. I would be doing it more for me. And I felt that in myself, I felt as though that was a little bit selfish. You know, I'm literally dosing him up on medication. I kind of saw it that I would more be doing it for me rather than him. And I felt that the whole thing of having a pet is you do what you can to give that pet the best life possible. And I felt for me that in that scenario, if I'm thinking more about myself than I am him, then I'm failing him as being his owner. So I basically said I didn't want to go down the route of medication. That wasn't my thing. So I basically came to the conclusion on that one of medication probably isn't the way. Don't get me wrong, if other people, you know, have pets and that's what they choose to do, that's your prerogative. I'm not going to judge anybody for what they do. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. But yeah, for me, you know, I didn't want to go down that route. So then they basically said another route is potential of surgery. And they said that that also comes with pros and cons. The pros being that it would actually do something for the arthritis. You know, it's not given that 100% it's going to be successful or whatever. The cons being, one, it's going to be expensive, but two, because of his age and stuff again, there is no guarantee that he would actually make it through the operation because he would need to be sedated. And as I know personally, because I've been in a situation once upon a time where I had to have surgery, I was sedated, and I was told that, you know, being sedated comes with certain risks. So I was well aware that, you know, being sedated and stuff has a potential of risks and stuff. And I then thought, how big are the risks? You know, how big are these risks? And are they worth it? Is it worth taking the risk, taking the chance? You know, I'm all about taking chances and stuff like that, but I want to know, what are these chances? You know, how big are these risks? And they basically said to me, we don't know. I can't really say. It's, you know, if it's 50-50, I don't think I would have gone for it anyway. If they said to me, you know, 20% chance he might not wake up from the sedative, 20% is better than 80%, you know? So that way I probably would have done it. You know, I had pet insurance anyway that would have helped. But yeah, I decided, nah, I don't want to do that. So I basically said to the vets, you know, you guys, you know, you don't have to do anything. I will, you know, look into other possibilities, because I knew there was other things out there. So I eventually found out about a thing called YouMove Senior that are basically supplements for joint pain and stuff like that. And I had other people, you know, give me their verdict, give me their opinion, and they basically said that, again, it won't heal or cure the arthritis, but it will definitely do something to do with pain and discomfort. So there was that. I thought, okay, let's do that then. So he was on this YouMove Senior. I remember for the first couple of weeks, he was taking 2 in the morning and then 2 sort of afternoon, evening time, about like 5, 6. And he took them, not a problem. Quite enjoyed them, if I'm honest. I reckon if I had a handful of them and just held my hand out in front of it, he would have gone through the whole fucking lot. Luckily, I'm not that stupid. So that's what we were doing. Seemed to be working. You know, he was walking properly, or not properly, but he was walking better than he was. He seemed a little bit happier in himself. Still not 100%, but I knew that we weren't going to get 100%. So I thought it's worth it. You know, if he's still able to walk and do things, it's worth it, right? So we carried on with that, and then obviously I've done the vlog where I sort of updated people, you know, about how he was getting on and things like that. Then I decided I shouldn't put this vlog out because of some of the stuff that I said about, you know, family and some people. I didn't mention any names or anything, but I just, I don't know, my head wasn't in it. You know, like I said, I was in a pissed off mood already. Had people poking me with an invisible stick. I had no business vlogging that day, and I regret doing the vlog because it was like half an hour, 45 minutes of me, you know, spending my time talking about stuff that I probably shouldn't have said. So I ended up wasting like an hour of my time, which I'm not going to get back. I could have used that time doing something different. And so yeah, that vlog didn't come out, so obviously people didn't get the update about Bruno, and so on. But I always had the idea of, I'm gonna do a vlog again. I'm gonna do another one because I've been promising people I would do one, and I kept sort of saying, right, let's do one now, and then obviously I would end up putting it off not doing one. And then, what was it, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I actually sat down and done one. And gave the update about Bruno and, you know, said a little bit about, you know, people pissing me off and poking me with this hypothetical stick that doesn't exist. But I didn't go as deep into it because my mindset was a little bit clearer, you know, even though I was in a shitty place because I knew obviously my dog wasn't amazing, you know, I was always worrying about, you know, him, how he was getting on all that kind of shit, you know. So my mind was still a bit fucked up, but it wasn't as fucked up as it was when I'd done the first one. And so I'd done that vlog, pretty much edited the whole thing, rendered it, got ready to pretty much upload it, and my dog's health just dropped. So he wasn't eating his normal food, morning or afternoon, evening. Well, I say he wasn't eating, he was, but tiny amounts, unheard of for him. He was a greedy little bastard. You put food in front of him, he'd eat it, not a problem. Whereas at that time, he was barely eating at all. So I had to kind of try and manage that. And then I noticed he had, and this is going to sound a bit horrible, but fuck it. I noticed he had diarrhea. And so I, you know, having a staff cross, if you know about staffs, you know, they're a terrier type of breed, they're scavengers, basically. What I mean is scavenger is basically if you drop some food on the floor and you either aren't aware or you think I'll pick it up in a minute and then you forget. With a staff, I guess for most dogs, but Bruno was definitely one of these dogs. If he saw that food was on the floor, it's his for the taking. It doesn't matter what it is, it's for the taking. And so there were times where I would drop like a sausage on the floor. I'd be like, oh, I'll go, turn around, go to pick it up. He's already got it and he's gone. So that's how he used to be. But then I noticed the change in him, and that wasn't happening. Like, I could drop whatever on the floor. I could put things on the floor and let him have it. He wouldn't have it. He wouldn't take it. So his own food, he wasn't eating normal, barely eating anything at all. His treats as well, he was a big treats kind of dog. If you wanted to train him, you wanted to do anything with him, food. So you get what I mean? He was a fat, greedy bastard. To train him, food. You know, to get him to stop doing something, food. But obviously, you know, I was told I've done, you know, I've done really well with him. He wasn't massively, you know, he wasn't actually overweight. But, well, he was about 26, so he was only 1 kg over, and they was like, you've actually done really well. But, yeah. Because I knew how he was, the fact that he was a scavenger, he would eat whatever he could find. He was very prone to stomach bugs. The amount of stomach bugs he's had over the years is nuts. Mainly because, you know, my dad would drop something on the floor, you know, drop a bit of food on the floor and wouldn't pick it up straight away. He would leave it for a bit and then, like, I'll pick it up later. The amount of times we've had arguments where I've told him, pick it up now. It doesn't take 2 seconds just to pick it up now. He obviously wouldn't do it. He was, you know, fucking stubborn as anything. So yeah, you know, obviously Bruno was always getting stomach bugs and stuff. I say always, probably like, you know, twice a year maybe, something like that. It was more than it really should have been. So yeah. But because he was always prone to it, because of the fact that he was a greedy shit, and he would eat food off the floor that had dropped off or whatever, he would get a stomach bug every so often. And I came to realise, because the first time I ever experienced him having a stomach bug, I actually took him to the vets. And they prescribed antibiotics and stuff to help with it, which ended up costing me like £40-something. And, you know, he would have to take them for like a week. And then I spoke to another vet, got a second opinion, because I was like, do these antibiotics actually do anything? And they was like, well, yes, they do stuff. But there was like, you actually don't really need them. There are other things you can do. So one of the things I was advised was just switching his diet for a bit. So when he had a stomach bug, put him on a bland diet. Put him on something like rice or tuna or rice and chicken breast, whatever, right? So that's what I always done then, and realized that actually I could do that because my dad loves tuna anyway, so there was always tuna in the house. He also likes curry, so there's always rice in the house. Perfect. So that's what we would do. We would put him on rice and tuna for 2 or 3 days, and then put, you know, weed him back onto his own food and stuff, and it would be sorted within a couple of days. But that wasn't happening this time. Like, I was giving him the rice and tuna, just like we always done, but it was still something off. There was still something for like a week. There was still something not right, and you know, when you get that natural instinct that something's not right, and you start to get a little bit concerned, and you start thinking, this is now beyond what I can do from home. I took him to the vet. I was a bit pissed off already before I even got to the vet, because getting the taxi, now remember, like, I can walk to the vets, it's not a problem. It's only 1.5 miles or something like that. I can walk there, it's not a big deal. But having a dog with quite bad osteoarthritis who walked ridiculously slow, for me, I wasn't happy to make him walk that far. And I ain't carrying a dog that's 26 kilograms. Oh no. So I ended up getting a taxi. It ended up costing me, I think it was about £11 something one way. Cost me it was about £11.70 or something one way. So I was already fucking pissed off that, you know, a taxi company can charge someone that much. And I actually spoke to the driver and I was like, why is it so much? And he was like, I don't know. But he was like, I can only assume maybe, you know, because you're getting a taxi from your house to the vets, that they assume you're taking a pet. So he was like, after the journey, I need to go off and I need to clean the car out because there's fur and stuff in the back seats and stuff. Things like that probably, so you probably have to pay a little bit more. If it is, I don't know. It seems a bit stupid. But whatever. Anyway, so got to the vets and they done like a brief checkup. So I just basically explained the issues to them, and they were like, okay, it doesn't sound terrible, you know. The most concerning thing was obviously the arthritis at that point, because obviously I told them that he's drastically slowed down. He's, you know, his walking was super slow compared to what he was doing before, and you know, he's on these supplements, but now he's refusing to take the supplements. He's not really eating, you know, he wasn't eating his own food, wasn't eating his treats, and the rice and tuna and stuff, he was barely eating that either at this point. So basically told them, and they was like, is this normal? And I was like, no. So they done an examination and basically said that his stomach felt a bit sort of swollen, felt like he was bloated or something like that. I was like, okay. There was like, that's nothing, you know, that's just, you know, stomach bug or whatever. And I obviously told them that, you know, he had diarrhea and stuff. So they was like, that does point towards some sort of stomach bug. There was like, antibiotics will help that. But they was like, we want to know though, like, if he's got a stomach bug, he'll still eat. And I was like, yeah, that's how he used to be before. And he had stomach bugs in the past. He would still eat his treats. He'd still eat the rice and tuna. So there was like, there must be something else as to why he's not eating properly. And they put him on the scales, and bear in mind, I said, you know, his weight was about 26-ish. In the space of, I think, like a week, maybe 2 weeks, he had dropped to, I think it was about 24.5, 25. So he had been losing weight. So I said, okay, you know, he's losing a bit of weight. But then was like, it's not really bad. But there was like, it's enough to show that obviously he's not eating properly. So they done all of that, and she was like, there's something else though that must be stopping him from eating. So they basically decided they were going to do a full examination, head to toe, nose to tail. I don't know, from here to here, basically the whole thing, every inch of his whole body and everything. They were going to check. So they started off looking at his mouth, checked his teeth, and it was like his teeth are worn down, you know, but you know they're not really going to stop him eating. So they checked through the neck, absolutely fine. They found a lump on his side, which I actually told them about. They checked it and was like, it's just a fatty lump, nothing to worry about. Then they checked by the just in front of the back legs. There's the lymph nodes. So the dog, and I'll flash on screen here somewhere. Where am I? There, up here somewhere in the corner. I'll flash a little image there. Over the dog's body, there's lymph nodes, same as us. We've got them as well. They checked his lymph nodes just in front of his back legs, and basically said his lymph nodes are up, basically swollen or whatever. And that's usually because there's an infection or something, just like, you know, we do. You know, I had tonsillitis. I still suffer with tonsillitis. So every so often my lymph nodes will become swollen. Same as if you get a cold or flu, your lymph nodes go up a bit. So there was like, that's not really a big concern or anything like that. You know, that's probably whatever the bug is or whatever that he's got, you know, with the stomach and stuff. Then there was checking around his back legs, obviously for the arthritis. There's sign of more muscle wasting, and he wasn't terribly happy about them sort of moving him around on his back legs and stuff. So there was like, so it's an indication to show he's in some pain and discomfort. You know, he was never the kind of dog though that if he was in pain or anything, you could poke him, prod him, you could play with him and stuff. He wouldn't growl, he wouldn't do whatever, unless it was really, really bad. If it was really, really bad, then he would probably growl. You know, show his teeth, be like, fuck off. You know what I mean? But yeah, he didn't do that. He had a bit of a grumble, but yeah, that was basically how he was. But she was like, I can feel him sort of pulling away and whatnot. So she was like, that's evidence that he's in a bit of pain and discomfort with it, so it's understandable. But they said that it is, you know, the arthritis was obviously progressing and was getting worse. So yeah, they then done another check, which probably wasn't very nice for him. It probably was for him. I don't know. Put it hard. No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say something, but I won't. But yeah, they basically done an examination of his testicles. Woman went right up there with that handful. Leave that in. But yeah, done an examination of his testicles and basically said that they had found a tumor in the testicles. And basically she was like, you know, it's not massive. And she was like, you know, they are typically, you know, quite slow to progress. They're very common though in male dogs that aren't castrated. So he was never castrated. So he always had, you know, the ball sack, never had it removed. Being a man, you know, to have a male dog and have his bollocks cut off, for me that was evil. I think in hindsight is a fucking wonderful thing, because it always makes you think of things after you've actually done it. Yeah, I think in hindsight, if I do get another dog, which I don't think I will, I think I'm done with dogs. Not done with pets. I love pets, but I think with dogs, I'm done. You know, Bruno was the only dog I ever had, and I'm a firm believer that he's probably the only dog I'm ever going to have. I don't think I'm going to get another dog. I actually want to go down the route with cats at some point, but we'll see. But yeah, so they basically said he's going to need medication, obviously for the tumor, for the arthritis, and obviously antibiotics to help with the stomach and stuff. We're going to need you to get medication into him. How confident are you that you're going to be able to do it? And I said, well, he's not taking the supplements he's been taking now, and the only way I could probably get him to take medication was to try and trick him into doing it. by giving him food, but crushing up tablets and stuff and mixing it in with the food, and then trying to trick him to take the medication and stuff that way. But bear in mind, he's not eating. I can't do that. So he won't take the medication as it is on its own. He's not eating, so I can't trick him into taking the medication by eating. So how am I supposed to do it? So I said, you know, is there anything else that we can potentially do? And they was like, not really. It's medication, or we leave him and hope that it doesn't get to him soon or whatever, or maybe it's time to let him go. But you know, the vet was clear. She was like, it's not for me to say what you do. You know, it's all down to you. She was like, whatever route you decide to do, we'll support you with it. We can give you advice on it. We can help you with it. And, you know, try and get somewhere. So I basically said, you know, if I was able to get him to take the medication, how long roughly would that give us? And she was like, I can't say. I couldn't tell you. So I was like, okay, that's not very helpful. And she was like, could be a couple of weeks, could be a couple of months until you have to make a decision, you know, whether he lives or doesn't, basically. But she was like, it's going to get worse regardless. You know, the arthritis will get worse. The tumor will more than likely get worse. And things like that. So she was like, inevitably at some point you're going to have to make a serious decision regarding his life. It's just a case of whether you do it now or in a week or two, where you're basically forced that you have to now do it. So I kind of sat there and I thought, you know what, it's not going to be easy letting him go. But I was like, I don't want him to be on medication just to give me an extra week or two. So I basically made the decision, you know, I think it took me like half an hour or something. I was in the vets for like a whole hour. So I basically sat down and, you know, the vets went off for a bit, left me and Bruno on our own in the consultation room. I think I was in there for like 5-10 minutes, you know, just me and Bruno just sat in there together, you know, having a cuddle. You know, I was having a chat with him, trying to work out what the fuck do I do? Because I don't want, you know, I obviously didn't want to lose him, but I knew it was going to come. But I didn't want him to be in pain just so I could get an extra week or two or month or whatever. So I basically came to the decision that now is probably the best time. So on the 6th, so last Tuesday, is when he passed away. And that's why the other vlogs didn't come out. Obviously, this is taking me like half an hour to explain most of this. I wasn't expecting the video to be this long. It's actually longer than this because this is the second part of the recording. I fucked up a little bit, so you know, cut it so I can go, you know, do another bit. So yeah, I'll have to wrap it up shortly. But anyway, yeah, he had a long life with me, and I worked out for the 14 or 15 years that I had with him, the maximum time that we were apart was under a week. Under a week. Over the course of 14 or 15 years. That is how close we were. It was like, if I felt down and whatever, like, my fucking head, you know, when my head was screwed up, you know, my depression was bad. I felt like shit. I felt like giving up. He would be there. Through relationships that didn't go so well, he was there. The arguments and everything with, you know, my dad and things like that, he was there. And then one night, years and years ago, I went out one day. I had a nice necklace. Believe it or not, younger Kev actually used to wear the bling. I used to wear the bling. So I used to have a gold necklace with a matching gold bracelet, and some drunk, probably stoned chav decided to come and rob me of my chain and my bracelet. Little did he expect that I have a Staffordshire Bull Terrier Border Collie crossbreed on the end of a lead right next to my foot. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen when you put your hands on me? Obviously, I don't condone, you know, people that train dogs to attack people or whatever. But I think if someone's gonna do something to somebody that has a dog, that dog is gonna do whatever it needs to do to protect its owner. So that guy got quite a nasty bite, though we did also get a nice gold chain. You bastard. It is what it is, you know. I don't really care. I can deal with it, you know. But the fact is, you know, that was a scary situation to be in. You know, to have someone run up on you and grab this chain that's around your neck. You know, there were other people. There were people walking past. No one was doing shit. My dog, however, decided to bite this guy because barking wasn't doing anything. He was barking at him and he wasn't leaving or anything. And as soon as the guy put his hand on me, he got bitten. And I even praised the dog for doing it because he had my back. So, yeah, the bond we had was insane. It was completely unbreakable. Nobody ever come between us. You know, there were, you know, times where, you know, I looked at getting into a relationship and, you know, I had girls that were like, I'm not interested in you because you've got the dog. If you get rid of the dog, we can get together. And I was like, well then bike it, because I ain't interested. So yeah, that's probably why I've been single for so fucking long. Over 10 years I've been single. It is what it is. So anyway, a week or just over a week he's been gone. I actually got a phone call just before I started doing this from the vets to say his ashes are available to collect. However, apparently it's quite fucking heavy. So I don't know quite how heavy. Before I wrap up, I want to talk as well a little bit about videos. So obviously I'm doing this thing here, and I've had some ideas about doing some other types of videos. Potential for, I don't know, like reaction videos maybe. More videos where I just sit down like this and have a chat with you, you know, and talk about things, whatever it is, I don't know. Hoping, if I can, to try and do some more gameplay videos, potentially. We'll see. There is obviously the new construction simulator coming out on the 20th, I believe. I think it's the 20th. Obviously, I want to get on that. DJ and Phil are going to be getting on that as well. So, obviously, I will probably get on it with them and do some gaming with them on that. Potentially for some other stuff that I've got a couple of other gaming videos that I haven't fully edited yet, so that they may come out at some point. But yeah, the fact that I don't have, you know, Bruno here anymore, you know, kind of, I don't need to look after him anymore, if that makes sense. You know, he's in a better place, so I don't have to, you know, run around trying to find out what he's up to, making sure he's all good, as well as making sure my dad's all good. Obviously, my dad has dementia, so I have to deal with that. But yeah, it's kind of like gaming and, you know, doing videos and whatnot, you know, is kind of my escape from reality. So I want to get back into doing videos again. I don't yet know what videos I want to do. Obviously, like I said, potentially doing, you know, some more videos like this one. If you do like these, or this video, by the way, definitely give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Always appreciated. Leave comments as well in the comments below. Let me know if you are interested in more videos in this kind of format, where I just sit down and just talk and see what the fuck comes out of my mouth. If you are interested in more like this and the potential of like reaction videos, I also tweeted out the other day saying about potential of doing like a Q&A video. So if people are interested in that, then that's something that I can also look into. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up now and go and do some stuff. Tower Unite is I think just updated for me, so I'm gonna go and get on that and go do some bingo and shit, because I'm old. Yeah, if you did like this video, like I said, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the video and everything. Leave any comments and whatnot in the comments below. Also, there is a GoFundMe in place at the moment to try and help me out a little bit with the costs and stuff that came from obviously making that decision to put Bruno to sleep. So I'm gonna put a little image up here to show you. So if you feel like you can spare a couple of quid, whatever, you know, I don't expect it. So, you know, I don't want people being like, you know, oh, I feel like shit because I didn't donate anything. If you can't afford it or you just don't want to, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. I don't, you know, I'm not going to hold any, you know, grudges or whatever. I'm not going to be a dick or whatever. You know, if you can't afford it or you just don't want to donate to anything, you know, that's absolutely fine. But if you feel that you can afford to give something, no matter how big or small, I massively appreciate every single donation that I get. And it takes a bit more of a load off of me, you know, because that day it was like 2 weeks of my income spent in that day, plus some of my savings as well. So it was an expensive day. So if I can try and get a bit of that back, then it's a massive help. But yeah, so yeah, anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.